day she left us and cut contact. The world fell apart for my daughters and I. I knew that I now had to take care of my daughters all by myself. I was in a state of depression for a long time, but I kept fighting for my daughters. I would try to reach my wife for support, but every attempt to contact her failed. Luckily, I was eventually able to find a better paying job that made it possible for me to give them the world. My daughters had good grades in school, and I knew that our life would soon be better again. But once in a while, when I took my youngest daughter to bed, she asked if I would leave them like mom.
Okay, the episode 5 stuff is, yeah, released. En ja, in de volgende korte livestream kun je zien dat het ook kan. Als ik die had, was ik wel blij. Oh, deze.
While they were busy writing, the doorbell rang and I wondered who it was. When I opened the door, I froze in shock. It was my ex-wife with a big smile on her face. She said she was happy to see me and tried to hug me, but I refused. My oldest daughter then came up behind me and asked me who it was. When she saw her mother, her facial expression immediately changed. I've never seen her so angry. My ex-wife tried to apologize and she wanted to hug her, but my daughter pushed her away and shouted at her to leave. She told her that she never ever wants to see her again. Then my youngest daughter also joined us. She just got angry and turned around and went to her bedroom. Then my oldest one followed her to comfort her. From the look on her face, I knew my ex-wife was ashamed. I asked her what she wanted. She said that the last 3 years weren't good years for her. She constantly thought of her daughters and wanted to see them again, but for some reason she never came by because she was expecting this exact response from them. She asked if I could talk to them. I told her that I could tell them she was sorry and let them decide, but I will not push them into doing anything they don't want. She was okay with that and left. She also left me her new number to contact her. I then went into my daughter's room. She was crying in the arms of her older sister. I told them what their mother had told me. I told them that if they want to meet her, they could do that. It would be okay for me. My oldest daughter said that she cannot forgive her for doing what she did, that I was everything they needed. It felt good to hear this. Really good. I always thought that being a single parent would mean that I might never be enough for my children, but hearing this made me so happy. My youngest daughter then said that she always thought she missed her mother, but now that she had seen her again, she never wanted to see her again. I texted my ex-wife about that. She read it but didn't respond. However, she didn't give up that easily. She showed up to our house once more while my daughters played ping pong outside. I was in the living room watching TV when I suddenly heard loud shouting outside of the house. My ex-wife came out as lesbian and left my daughters and I 3 years ago.
What?
I immediately got there and I saw my oldest daughter arguing with my ex-wife. My oldest daughter shouted at her that she had no idea what she did to me. She told her about how depressed I was and everything I went through. This was kind of surprising because I wanted my daughters to feel secure with me, so I've never told them of my depression and the suffering I went through. Then she told my ex-wife how she felt over the years knowing that her mother left her and that she'll never forgive her. My 13-year-old was crying while that happened, so I hugged and comforted her. But I also didn't want to interfere because if my oldest daughter wanted to tell her mother anything, I was not going to stop her just to protect my ex-wife's feelings. Overall, she never cared about our feelings either. After she was done, she came and hugged me. That's when I told my ex-wife that she should leave us alone once and for all. I warned her that if she ever showed up here again, we would get a restraining order. She left with tears in her eyes. I just hoped it would be and she'd leave us alone. My daughters had made it very clear they didn't want anything to do with her. Then she appeared again. My younger daughter came home today with a bad look on her face, and when I asked what was wrong, she started to explain. It all started when my younger daughter got out of school today. Usually she just walks home, but this time my ex-wife waited for her at the exit. She tried to ignore her, but she was stubborn and refused to let her go just like that. She offered her a ride home. My daughter refused, but she insisted. She prepared herself for running away, but before she could, my ex-wife made her an offer. She would give her a ride home and try to explain everything to her, and if she still didn't want to see her again, she'd never show up again. My daughter figured that this could be the best opportunity to get rid of her, so she accepted. Now here comes the interesting part.
Nah. Oh.
She wouldn't drive her home exactly.
Oh ja, dat is een nieuw toilet.
According
Dual
to her,
cloud
she broke up
toilet.
with her girlfriend after 1 year because they had too many different interests. She said that while she tried to live her life, she constantly had her daughters in her mind. She said she went no contact because she believed in the numbers and hoped that this would help her start a new life with her girlfriend. She spent the last 2 years in a depression because she figured she couldn't live without her babies around. My ex-wife went on to say that she deeply regrets leaving them and that her life was a total mess. She could understand if my daughters hated her, but she would try to make everything right if they just gave her the chance. Then my daughter asked her what would have happened if her relationship and her life were successful. Silence. Then she asked if she and her older sister were just the consolation prize. My daughter told me that this question made her really mad and apparently she accused me of poisoning them against her. This was funny because I never talked bad about her with my daughters. Of course I was angry for a long time, so I said a few bad things about her to my coworkers, but never to my daughters. She is still the mother of my children overall. My daughter said that when she got out of the car, she affirmed her will of never